We are Witches Who Podcast.
Hey, Shelby.
Hey, Dee.
Anything weird happened to you lately?
Yes, always. So, the ring thing. If you follow me on Instagram, you've heard the story already, so just bear with me. Anyways, so I bought these two rings like a while ago. And like a while ago, as in like a month ago, and I lost both of them. They're just plain gold bands, one for my ring finger, no, one for my thumb, one for my pinky. They didn't really fit quite right, and I was like forcing it because I wanted them that bad. I was like, I want these rings, and I'm gonna make them fit.
And
Kinda
we know
thing.
that when you force things, they happen. Of course, you get it.
Yeah, of course. At the time, I was like, that's not real. Okay. Anyways, so I bought those rings. They didn't really fit quite right, the whole 9 yards. Lost them both within a week of having them. So I'm pissed, and I'm like, whatever. I'm just gonna forget about it. 2 weeks later, I pull up to the yoga studio, and I open my car door, and directly on the ground, on the asphalt in the parking spot, is the pinky ring.
What?
On the asphalt. Like, I open the car door and I look straight down, and there it is. I didn't even get out of the car yet. I'm just staring at it. I'm like, there's no way that's real.
In that studio, there's so many people in and out, cars, gardeners blowing.
Yeah.
What?
Right? Like, how is that real? Like, what? And it was a long time. It was like 2.5 weeks. Like, I didn't know where I lost the ring.
Okay.
That one. The second one, I knew I lost it in my house somewhere because I was doing something and like, oh crap, it's gone now. And I was in the house the whole time. But that one, I had no clue. And I lost that one first. And I was so confused. And I picked it up. I'm like, yeah, that's it. And I had it and I put it back on. And then I came home and I lost it again, same day. No idea.
The
I
same
wore it
ring
all
that
day.
you just found.
The same ring I found on the ground. I put it back on that day, wore it all day. Yeah, I know, dirty parking lot, whatever. And I lost it again that day, that same day. And then it's still gone. I have no idea where it is.
Oh,
Yeah, and that was like a week ago already. And then that same week, I walked into my closet to grab a sweater. I have a walk-in closet. It's just like a big square. And how many times do you go in and out of your closet? Every freaking day or a week or whatever. And this is, again, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks later that I lost these rings. I walk in my closet right in the middle, not like, oh, it was in a jacket and it fell down. No, in the middle of the closet is the thumb ring that I lost, the second one, in the middle. How did I not see that?
oh, you probably passed by it and stepped on it so many times. That ring doesn't want to be found.
Like, did I though? Am I just that unaware or am I haunted?
I'm gonna go with hunted.
That's what I desperately want to be haunted, but I'm like still not totally convinced that's happening to me. Anyways, however, how does that happen 3 weeks later and I just didn't? Am I that seriously like unaware of my surroundings? Like I don't want to admit that.
Yeah, no, I think that it just sounds like the way you acquire the ring, like you really want it.
I forced it.
Yeah, and then the ring is like, oh hell no,
Yeah.
play
So the
with
pinky
this
one's
thing.
gone, but I found the thumb ring. I still have it for now. I put it on my index finger.
Okay.
We're gonna see if
It
how
looks a
long-
little loose, girl.
It's totally not. It's not. We'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah.
But
Oh
it's
my
been like it's been a week,
God. Okay. It's made it to a week.
but I haven't worn it the whole time.
Okay. I was gonna say if it's the whole week you had
Yeah.
it, worn it, it's
No.
due for celebration at this point.
No,
that
I'm
it's
only on
still
one
there.
day. This is day one.
Okay. All right.
I'll keep you posted. But how strange though.
do.
Like I feel like they just pop out of I don't know. What am I supposed to learn from that? But
Well, thank you for
whatever.
sharing.
Yeah.
You know,
Anyways,
a lot of weird things do happen to both of us. So
right. I feel like Shelby over here is just like naturally skeptical too though. So like I see stuff like that happen and I'm like, no way. Like that's not real. Like I desperately want to have like a paranormal experience, right? Like I want like poltergeist activity to happen so I can be like, that's real. Like I know for a fact now that like spirits are real. Even though in my gut, like I know spirit is real and it's truthful, right? But I'm still like I always will second guess myself. I'll always question, even like with Reiki or like I still question, even though I can feel it
Yeah.
and see it,
Are
right?
you always seeking like outer validation or like you want to catch it on camera and that's how
Yes.
you know? But see, nowadays with so much special effects on everything,
that's true.
people don't really even believe when you actually catch anything on camera. It's just like, well, did you or did you created it? So I feel like the world has built this gigantic skepticism for everything and nothing.
That's true.
And knowing you as I know you, you have so many experience and like you walk with spirits and you know all of that happening. So I bet you're a spirit. If I can just see your spirit guides and like ghosts around you, they're just kind of like rolling their eyes at you and be like, girl,
you're choosing to
hello."
not see us.
Every time you get in your car, I bet you there's a spirit on the side of you.
Okay, now I'm gonna be scared.
But see, then what you want to see them?
I want to be scared.
Like, oh gosh. Okay.
I was that kid. I like obsessively watched like paranormal TV and like ghost hunters and ghost adventures and stuff. Like obsessively. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I couldn't believe that one day that you mentioned, hey, you were sick and you wanted to watch this this like paranormal documentary.
Oh yeah, and I made you watch them all.
Yes. And I was like, I didn't even finish watching them because I was like having dreams of it. I'm like, no.
I'm like, yes, give me all the spooky, weird, scary stuff.
No. I rather choose what I want in versus like, yeah, come on in and you know, I want to have that experience. Like I want to have that experience on my terms.
Yeah, I feel like you're way more trusting than I am. Like you like gut check or like have your intuition. You're like, yes. And I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah, no, I think I am somewhat skeptical, but I feel that once I just know and trust, I just go with it instead of continue to look like I know that works and I just convince myself that I did see spirit or I convince myself in a way. Like I just know, feel and trust where I don't feel like I need to question it like any further. But there are times where I'm like, let me validate this.
Like when somebody tells you a story, like say it's like totally off the rocker, like, I don't know, like a spirit stole my homework or something. I'm going to, one day, I'm not in school anymore, but I wish I would have told my teacher that. But do you just like wholeheartedly be like, oh yeah, that happened? Or are you just like,
I need to know who it's coming from. Whoever.
Who's the source? Okay.
Yes, the source is huge because, you know, suddenly somebody who's extremely skeptical and they're just like, yeah, I had this experience. And you can always tell when people are just full of it.
Yeah.
So they are, and they have been, and believe me, in the spiritual community, there's still a lot of people full of it.
Yeah.
So I've had conversations with highly enlightened people.
Air quotes.
You know, that if we're rating on the enlightenment scale, they think they're like at 100, they're at -3. And they're like using all the woo-woo words and all the buzzwords out there and telling me this particular story. And I'm like, I still don't believe you because it looks like.
Because you're trusting your intuition.
Yeah, to guide me, just be like, I'm like, okay, I understand. Or, you know.
Which is like such a cool, like open way to be to like having that discernment, like your intuition. Whereas I feel like I miss out on things because I don't trust my intuition. Where I'm like, or I do stuff that's actively where my body is like, hey, don't do that. That's a bad idea. And I'm like, that's fine. And then it's definitely not.
It's like, don't get the ring, lost the ring.
Yeah, right.
It could be something around that.
Totally.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, but which is, again, why we wanted to start this podcast. So you guys don't have to have, well, you're still going to have to learn and have experiences. However, hopefully we can share ours and it can save you some of the trouble.
Of course. So, yes. So, again, welcome to Witches Who Podcast.
Yes. I am Shelby.
And I am Dee.
In case you haven't figured that out already. Yeah. So why we wanted to start this podcast. I mean, I think a big part for me is just wanting to share my journey and having an excuse to Google search a bunch of weird stuff on the internet that even though I do it already, it's like now I'm like, I have a reason to when I'm up at midnight and my husband's like, are you going to have me to bed? Stop Googling ghosts. I'm like, no, it's for my podcast, you know? And now I have that like, excuse to
I love that because in this podcast, you will hear a lot that we do research when we want to speak on certain subjects from,
totally.
witchcraft, spirituality, aliens, the Matrix, things like that.
Yeah, which pill are you going to take? Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of you may be questioning is like, well, where are you getting your research from? What platform? They're like,
everywhere.
Yes.
I've read a lot of books, let me tell you.
Yes.
And I've had a lot of experiences. I'm sure Dee has too. But most of this, I think, is coming really from, like we're doing our research, reputable sources off the internet mostly. But also like we're not claiming to have all the answers or claiming that any of this is truth or anything else, right? So it's really just listen to your own discernment and, take one from Dee's book and actually follow your intuition. You know what I mean? Like if it feels good, it feels good. If it doesn't, then don't listen. It's fine.
Yeah.
You know, like not everything is going to work for everybody, but we're excited to share more topics, you know, like just different topics that we'll share a little bit more later. But yeah, just here to have some fun, you know?
Absolutely. And also to, if you're new to spirituality, if you are new, you know, you're feeling suddenly you did an ayahuasca trip or something and you don't know how to integrate it, or like, why am I seeing ghosts? Or, you know, I've been doing Kundalini yoga and then I meditate and I have all these experiences and I have these surges through my body. It's like, what is going on? And you don't feel like talking to your friends because they may not understand and they just think you're crazy. Well, we don't think you're crazy. And that's why we want to create this to make it more, release the stigma around, you know, the new age everything. And there's still a lot of that with it. I'm just using that
offering
word.
that discernment, right? Of like what's real, what's not, like what can you trust, what can't you trust. And like we went through some crap, you know, that now we have a different outlook or a different perspective, like that discernment between, you know, reality and, you know, like hopefully we just can help.
We're going to share with you some
that
spiritual failures that
Oh,
I've had.
God. So let's hear it. What's your spiritual failure?
Oh man. Okay. So, spiritual failures. Hold on. Give me a minute.
Well, I can tell you about the time I accidentally joined a cult.
All right. Tell me more about that. Join a cult.
It's a terrible thing to say.
Okay. Hold on. How do you end up joining a cult?
Okay. So without like naming any names or anything, but a certain type of yoga practice. Okay. So Kundalini yoga is like a known thing, right? Yeah. Like, so I got really like, I love yoga, right? We were both yoga teachers. So I got really into it. Like before I was a teacher, I was just kind of like trying to find a movement practice that I liked. And I got really into Kundalini. Like I was like all in, like I'm wearing white every day. I bought a sheepskin rug to practice on. Like I bought into like everything. And I was going to this yoga studio that was just all about, and it felt great, right? I'm opening up things. I'm doing this breath work. I'm chanting. I'm doing all this stuff. And
you're enlightened.
On the enlightenment scale, I was like through the roof that time, like just for that brief moment while I was in class. Just kidding, not even a little bit. But I really like what did it for me too was like I was going to these classes and there was all these people. We would do all this crazy like weird chanting. It's not weird. Like I chant in my classes, but it's like Kundalini is a great practice. Don't be wrong. The yoga works. It was just like this place I was going to do it was not the right place. Like I had to not only pay a membership, but every time I went, I had to give an offering.
Oh no!
Yeah, to like,
Cringe.
ew, it was so good. It was like I had to basically had to tie.
Wait, who gets this off? Now I'm so curious.
I have no freaking idea, honestly.
Where do you put this offering?
In
like
front
an
of
altar?
this, yes, on this altar in front of this picture of the guru or whatever.
Okay.
And I would do it. I would freaking do it, and I would put like whatever I had of like, oh, here's $1, do I change? Or like other people were putting like oranges and I'm like, oh, I should have done that. But I would do that. And then it didn't hit me until like I was in the lobby one day in my white outfit and my little sheepskin rug. And I heard these people, like other students talking about the new girl in class and how she wasn't wearing cotton pants and how like ridiculous that was. And I was like, all of a sudden it just like clicked in my brain. I was like, whoa, okay, like this is not what I thought it was, or I'm not in the space that I thought it was. And it was like a hardcore reality check of like, whoa, they're judging other people. And I did not think like this is all love and light, right? Like granted, like we all have those times, right? But I was like, whoa, okay, how did I not see that when I was literally paying a membership and also just giving donations to some picture of a guru? Like where did that money actually go?
I have a question.
Okay, let's hear it.
Did you wear a turban?
No, I never did that. I definitely did not do that.
I was just because then you were like really,
I was really in the cult
at
that point.
It happens to so many people.
Yeah,
that is because it's you're wearing white and you're chanting and you're enlightened.
It feels good.
Like, yeah,
it feels good. And then you're also a part of a community, so they like reel you in with like, oh, I belong here, kind of thing. And it's like that obligational piece too. Yeah, so that's the time I joined a cult and then realized I needed to get the heck out of there, and I canceled my membership that day. It was like, I'm done. I never wear white. Also, like, anytime I wear white, it gets stained immediately. So it's like
So
the
now I'm
money I was
curious.
spending on white clothes. And
When you were wearing white back there, did it get stained immediately, or was the? Oh, it did.
yeah,
It did.
totally.
Okay.
I still have some yoga pants that have like huge white stains on them. I'm like, or like it's like gray. I'm like, where? How did that even happen? Like,
You should like tie dye them.
oh, that's a good idea.
You know.
Yeah.
Give them a whole new life.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Now they went from the enlightenment scale of like -3 to like a 99.
Yeah, with the tie dye.
tie-dye,
Yeah, 100%.
You know what? As you were speaking, I was like, okay, because I couldn't think of a spiritual failure, and I actually had this Reiki master that I loved. I still love her. She's incredible. But I really trusted her.
Yeah.
And one day we would communicate from time to time. And one day she reached out and she's like, hey, Dee, I've joined this amazing meditation community. Like she did a lot of an amazing meditation practices and things like that. So she was a yoga instructor herself. And she's like, hey, I joined this meditation community. I would love to invite you to, meet with. We meet online. And this was all around 2021. So still a little bit under the pandemic lockdowns type of situation. So, and it was all, she's like, there's people all over the world. Anywho, I joined in with like 15 other people, all of them very enlightened. And we they wanted to learn more about me, who I was. So I explained and how I work with energy and, what type of meditation I was used to, and just trying to, it felt a little cringy for a moment because I was like, this certain questions they were asking, it was almost like, how much money do you make a year, but not quite in that way. Like it just felt they were at, because they kept talking about the donations, like, and donate, and I felt that was a little weird. Anyhow, so I finished the meditation and it was great. Was I've moved and transcended? No, but it was great. It was beautiful. I really trusted this Reiki practitioner in front of mine at the time that I was like, okay, this is wonderful. And then towards the end, they're like, yeah, we keep this going. And then you can, if you put in $500 and then bring more people to put in $500, then you're at the center of the pyramid. It was basically a pyramid scheme. And I was like, I'm not that new to it anymore.
It sounds like Scientology.
Oh my God. But I was like, and you move. So you would move like pillars.
Oh my God, it's freaking Scientology.
And it
like
was
pay into the
just,
pillars.
and they were just like so excited. And my friend, she was just like if she didn't know anything about it, she's like, oh yeah, it's like nonchalant. And I'm like, you probably knew exactly what you were bringing me
Does
into.
she pay? Like she was part of it?
She did pay, and she was bringing other people so that she could
I see.
eventually make like the $30,000 or whatever that money was.
Wow.
But I was like, no.
Did you pay it?
No, no.
See,
girl.
maybe this is why I have like my intuition failures, because I'm like, I joined a cult and now I have PTSD.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, no, I saw the writing on the wall.
No, I was like, I wasn't rude. Everything was like, thank you so much. Like, yeah, well, by joining, you get all this and you get all that. And I was like, I get all that without joining.
That's
your
so
little
interesting.
pyramid scheme and keep my $500 in my pocket.
It's like, what would be the benefit of like that much money, like over and over again? Like just to get meditation?
They were talking about like their whole vision was like a weaving meditation throughout the world. So getting more people to
Okay.
meditate. And it was like a commitment that you do. So you're
So you have to
committed.
pay to commit to meditate.
Apparently, you that's what you're doing. Also, as humans, we do have a history of not, of working against ourselves and not trusting and
I feel called out.
Sorry.
Just kidding.
But it was
Yeah.
it was definitely a spiritual failure.
Yeah, it's like preying on the people that yeah. I don't like that one bit. That's really funny. At least you didn't succumb. Okay, anyways, but that's super funny. And I like that's totally like buying in and believing into those things too. It's like And like looking back on them now, it's like, oh, how did I not like
Oh yeah.
see that? How did I not? I know, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And if any of you up there would like to send us your stories
Oh my
of any
gosh.
spiritual failures, we would love to hear them
Please.
so that we don't feel so alone that it just happened
Yes,
to
and
us.
maybe we'll read one on this podcast.
Yes. And then, okay, so now thinking on that, or like spiritual failures, it's like, is there anything that happened to you like back then that you believe in, like when you were starting on your spiritual journey?
Totally. Like almost like failure, but not really. Like superstitions. Honestly, like when I think like starting on your spiritual journey of like how far back does it go, I like wholeheartedly believed in a superstition. My mom is superstitious like that. Like not really. It was just like, let's do this just in case kind of thing, you
Oh.
know? Like I forever, and like I introduced my husband to it because I'm like I'm like, let's just do it just in case. Like, what's it gonna hurt? You know what I mean? Like, don't put a hat on the bed because that's bad
why?
luck. It's bad luck. It'll bring you bad fortune. Don't put a hat on the bed.
Hat on the
A
bed.
hat on the bed will bring you bad luck and misfortune.
Man, no wonder
Yeah.
I'm broke. No.
Right? I know. And like putting your purse on the floor, like you were talking about that earlier.
Yes.
Putting your purse on the floor, all your money escapes, drains away from you. You have to pick your feet up when you drive over railroad tracks because same thing, bad luck or misfortune, or you'll break your leg.
What?
Yeah, it's like stepping on a crack, break your mother's back. It's
Oh.
like that, but like pick your feet up so you don't, bring bad luck
So
to your
how
family.
do you, okay, somebody who's driving across.
You gun it and lift your feet. I do it every time. Yeah. If you're ever in the car with me, you're going to be like, what are you doing? Be like, trust me, pick your feet up. No,
Well,
I'm serious.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many, like throwing salt over your left shoulder has to be
yeah.
your left shoulder, right? I don't remember even why you do that one. Keep the demons away. I don't know. Knocking on wood. There's actually some folklore behind knocking on wood. I'll have to look it up, but that's a good story that I can't remember right now. But that one, I actually know that one.
Well, stay tuned, everyone. We will do an episode on superstition.
Yes, and maybe folklore. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Like I feel like that's kind of like the start of like questioning like things we don't really understand, or like learning about energy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, so funny. So actually, when I began, I like to think when I began, I was a teen. I used to get my tarot cards read all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I was just like hooked to this witch lady who would
My
read.
parents would think that was like devil magic.
Yeah, no, which my mom did, but at the same time she didn't. I don't even know how to say it. Like because she's the one that took me to a tarot reader like the first time. But I used to get like my cards read, and then I got more into it than with this other lady that somebody recommended without checking her out. That's when you can tell I was not trusting my intuition or anything. It was just whatever anybody else will tell me. Hey, go to that lady. That lady's really good.
Yeah.
She can help you. And I was like, okay, because I felt like I was like broken and in a surge. And that's what
Especially
showed
when you're
up.
a teen, right? You
Yeah.
have low self-esteem. You're searching for who
But
you are.
by the time I saw this lady, I was already in my 20s. I was like maybe
Still,
like 21. I know, still pretty young, but I got all into it. I was like getting my cards read like weekly with her. And then as the more we talked, the more she knew about me, and she made me buy like a dagger and all these oils. And I had to create this altar. I still have that. The dagger is actually pretty cool. And it was like for protection. Well, yeah, you can kill somebody with that. But
like a sharp, like a dagger,
it was a dagger. It's a dagger. Like a sharp
like a
dagger.
knife.
Yes, metal.
I don't know. In my head, I was
Gold.
like selenite. I don't know.
Oh no! This is a
What did
dagger.
you do with this dagger?
Nothing. At some point, I remember my mom is like, "This has gone too far. Like this is like witchcraft," and it was just like really crazy. And then I had a situation with
Bad kind of witchcraft. Well,
Yes.
other kind is good. All right.
Yes.
Anyways.
It was not well intended by that time in a way. It was heading in that direction, I should say, because then I actually went through divorce, and I went to get my cards read because I'm heartbroken. It's like, oh, what is the universe going to tell me? And or all her demons, apparently. And she's like, you should make like a concoction to make him get all dizzy and this and that. And I was like, I think I need to step away from her.
Interesting.
And I never
She was trying to hex
went.
him.
Yes, and I never went back. And
Wow.
I was like, yeah, I
Interesting.
never went back. I was like, no, this is not the type of magic that I would like. So I got
Yeah.
rid of my dagger. I got rid of a lot of things. And I was just
Wow.
like, no more.
Wow. That actually reminded me kind of a story. Like I got I don't know even know where it came from, a Ouija board.
Oh,
When
I
I was
cannot
like in
stand
I
Ouija
know, I
boards.
know.
I'm just like,
When I was
no,
in
no, no,
in
people,
high
no witches.
school, I was again everything scary and spooky. I'm still obsessed with it all. But when I was in high school, like somehow I acquired one. I didn't purchase it. I don't really know where it came from.
They find you.
Yeah, it's like the original Hasbro one,
Oh.
like from Toys R Us.
Yeah.
And I asked my mom too recently because she just gave it to me. She found it in the attic and gave it back to
Is
me.
it in this house right now?
It's in the garage. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I need to step away, everyone. I will be leaving.
Cut. Just kidding. I will be leaving. I'm out. Peace. But that's like you saying like my mother was like, okay, this has gone too far. This is witchcraft kind of thing. Well, I had it and we, I always messed around and played with it, but like it never really worked. Right. Again, skeptic in me, like, this is fake. This isn't real. Like, this is not, I'm not talking to dead people or anything. And so I just had it. It was like under my bed in my childhood room. And one time my grandma came over and she saw it under my bed. I don't know why she was snooping around in my room under my bed, but she found it and she just pulls it out and she goes, mad, like, what is this? And I was like, Ouija board? You can read, right? Like, because I'm a teenager, I'm a jerk. And she's like, you need to get rid of this. This is not a toy. Like, this is a spirit board. And I'm like, spirit board? Like, it's just a toy. Probably came from Toys R Us. She goes, where did you get this? I was like, I don't know. Like, being a sassy little teenager. And she was so mad at me for having this Ouija board. And then she freaked me out. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, she was seriously upset with me. And I like told my mom and she goes, oh, it's just a toy. Like, just put it away. And I remember being like super freaked out. And I got rid of it by putting it like in the attic or something. I don't even know.
Did it show up under your bed later?
No.
I've heard stories.
I wish
with
that would have
Ouija.
happened.
I've heard stories. Actually, my niece, who has amazing paranormal stories, she was saying that
Jealous.
they created a Ouija board out of a pizza box, and we're playing with it, and then they went and put it in the trash, and it showed up inside the house.
No, it didn't.
Yes, I was like, oh my
Oh my
goodness.
God, that is so crazy. Well, I mean, I got rid of it I guess I don't know where it went. I thought I threw it away or I thought I got rid of it or put it in the closet maybe, but my mom found it in the attic recently and brought it out and was like, hey,
Oh,
this
thank
is
you,
yours.
Deb.
Come
Let
get
me
it.
get-
Well, the
It's
best
like-
part was when I went over to get it, because it was like some others. My mom she's so cute. She always like buys me stuff. It's like, oh, you need to come over. I got you some things. And then she's like, has like this whole like grocery bag full of stuff. But the Ouija board was there. And so she opens it. She goes, we have this running joke where Elvis is my real dad because my mom's always obsessed. He died way before I was born. But yeah, so that's like our long running joke because she's been obsessed with Elvis the whole 9 yards. Like, there's a lot to that story.
Funny.
Just side note though, arguably, I'm pretty sure my mom totally channels Elvis, but we'll get to that later. Put a pin in that one for a future episode channeling. Anyways, but we pulled out the Ouija board and she's like, let's try to contact your real dad. And I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, honestly, like for real? She goes, I don't know. Let's just see what happens. So we're like, literally like, are we talking to Elvis right now? Like literally me and my mom's in her 70s. She's just such a freaking hoot. She's hilarious. And we're like trying to talk to Elvis through this Ouija board. And no, I was like, all right, the one thing I do know is you have to move it to goodbye. Don't leave the board open.
Oh.
Yeah. Otherwise it's like a channel essentially.
Yes. Oh, yes, it is. Yeah. I did do that. Oh, okay. I'm not about, you know me, I'm not about the Ouija board. I hear Ouija board. The first thing is like, D, what do you think? No.
I'll work on it.
If I would have been there, I would have been like grabbing it, burning outside. Dean, no. You can talk to Elvis in a different way.
So on the enlightenment scale, where's the Ouija board?
Oh, like negative 99. negative 1 million.
Ouija boards are not enlightened.
No. They're not. I have a strong feeling with the Ouija board. I don't know why.
That's so funny.
I know. So yeah, really, really crazy.
Yeah. So we've referenced the enlightenment scale a million times and we never explained what it is.
Oh yeah.
We should probably do that.
Okay. Tell them all what the enlightenment
Okay. So
scale
we
is.
made up this thing called the enlightenment scale where it's kind of like our way of like, like rating things or like making fun of it at the same time of like on the enlightenment scale, in air quotes, how enlightened is this thing or how enlightened is this person kind of thing. And it's just a joke, but it's become a thing for sure. So
Yeah, like my cacao lately is on like 111. and the enlightenment scale.
Repeating no, I love that. That was perfect.
You know, so I love it.
Tucker, my adorable French bulldog, is not even on the scale. He's so high.
Oh yeah,
So
he's above the scale. He broke the scale.
it's broken because
He
of
is
Tucker.
the best. Yeah.
So you'll hear us reference that a lot, and it's a joke. So on the enlightenment scale, where do you think you're at, Dee?
Me?
Ooh, should I do you and you should do me?
Oh, I don't know. Okay, I have a number in my head, and then you can tell me.
Wait, who does it belong to?
Well, for me.
Okay, you go.
Yeah, okay. So you do me,
Oh,
and
okay.
then I'll tell you. Ooh, I was
Wait,
thinking.
what's the scale? 1 to 100, right?
Yeah, let's do 1 to 100. Do 1 to 111 because 1 is so much nicer.
Okay, I'm gonna say 77.
Oh, I thought I was an 88.
Oh, I wasn't that far off though. That's pretty good.
I know. Okay, so
Maybe I'm a 77.
No.
No, I'm like 5.
no. Oh my gosh. No, I was like in the enlightenment scale. It's like I'm like an 88. I'm feeling, and you're like
Right now,
77.
I feel like it's like a sliding scale. You know, like maybe tomorrow it'll be higher.
Yeah.
But like,
But you know what?
you
I
know.
received that 77. I will. Okay. So,
I didn't want to like be too like
Yeah.
too far and be like,
Of course.
but then I want to be. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay. In the
Yeah.
enlightenment scale, I feel like you are, with everything that is occurring, at a 65.
ooh, I like that number for some reason.
What number do you have for yourself that we were thinking?
I said 5.
5. Really?
No, actually, I was in my head. I was like 55. Like that's what I
Oh.
said like originally, and then
Yeah.
5 came out, and I don't know why.
No, the 5 I don't think is real.
I was like 55 because I'm not trusting. I'm not letting it flow. I'm not like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe tomorrow I'll feel different about it. We'll see.
Yeah. So
We're
everyone-
always harder on ourselves.
Of
right?
course. So everyone out there, please be kind with yourself on the enlightenment scale. You're doing better than you think you are.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening. This is our intro, and we're
Yeah.
excited for future topics. And again, we do research, and we want to bring topics to you that that maybe align, or that maybe make you question, or maybe make you unsubscribe. So
Yeah, just like kind of spark that curiosity. Anything weird. Like we have so many things planned. I have a Google Drive Excel spreadsheet thing filled to the brim with all these ideas of topics and stuff. Just as they come in, we're just like this. But really, it's just anything weird, you know. Obviously, I'm super skeptical, and I'm more on the spooky side of stuff. And I want to talk about aliens and ghosts and poltergeists and Ouija boards. But I also want to talk about like, spiritual practices and epic failures we've had, history, and, do some of that research about just different spiritual practices, modern spiritual practices. What else?
history of witches.
Yeah. Like why witches who podcast,
The new enlightened, the new people who are awakened. I saw a sticker the other day that said, not woke, but awaken.
Oh,
And I was like, oh,
I kind of like that because woke has such a bad connotation now.
yeah. And all
I
those
get it.
buzzwords out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking
There's a lot of
also
those.
about herbs.
Yeah. Yeah. And just learn more about each other too through the process and ourselves, and talk about our families, and then everything and anything on the spiritual path, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we hope you stick on this journey with us. We would love to, we're totally new to this. It was just the both of us chatting for a long time that we wanted to create a podcast, and then finally
It's like a year at least. Right?
yes.
We're like, we should start a podcast.
yeah, and just literally over brunch, which we love, having a conversation, and just it came to fruition. So always
Yeah.
follow your gut instincts, and
Yeah.
just
Or get you a friend that does.
yes, that is true. Yes, absolutely. But thank you again so very much. Follow us on all the social media.
Yes, at Witches Who Podcasts. Feel free to sponsor us on Spotify. Eventually, we'll have a Patreon. Send us money because we're funny.
Yes, we are. So thank you so much. Tune in and stay curious. Till
Yes.
next time.
Peace.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to follow us on social media at Witches Who Podcast.